Hi everybody, it's September 1st, and that means it's time for my August recap video where I go over everything I did in August and make a few plans for September as well. I'm a little bit blinded by the sun. The weather is gorgeous. There's not a cloud in the sky, and it's been beautiful, but I want to film and there's really nowhere that I can hide where the sun isn't in my eyes. It's too shadowy over there, too sunny here, but I'll see what I can do. So apologies for the squinting. I'm doing my best. Before we get into the thing, I just wanted to say welcome to a whole bunch of new subscribers. I think the window series is something that people are really into, and a lot of new people have come my way. So welcome, and just a little reminder to anyone who's new or people that have been with me for a long time. I love hearing from people in the comments, so please do ask any questions, leave some tips, whatever. Just say hello and I will respond to you, and I really do look forward to getting those. I also wanted to let everyone know that I've got a Patreon account and an Amazon wish list. The links are below, plus a PayPal link. So if anybody out there really loves my stuff and wants to contribute in one of those ways, please feel free. I would love the support and I really appreciate it. However, just watching the videos, making comments, giving likes, things like that, it's also great as well. And the channel is slowly growing and I'm really enjoying seeing that happen. But enough of that stuff, let's get into my work that I did in August. And we started, not really with work, with a party, with a yurt warming party. Sinead got her yurt installed, ready to move in, and she had some family visits from France, some Irish family who lives in France. They came down with a whole van load of stuff for her house, and we had a nice party for them. So we hosted some friends, had a good time, set up Sinead's She-Bean, which is her little bar that they brought. And yeah, it was just a lovely evening, and it was a nice way to ring in the new yurt with some friends and family. We also saw them off. They came down in a huge van, and we were quite nervous about them getting down the track, but Eilish drove it like a champion, and it was a successful journey all around, and a lot of fun was had. But that's the party side of things. I had a lot of work to do. I really went for it with the window. This project is something that has haunted my dreams for 3.5 years. I started ripping stones out of the interior of the wall right when I bought the place. It's one of the first things I did. I went halfway through, put in a concrete lintel up top, and then I panicked, and I basically didn't do anything for the next 3.5 years until now, and that's where we are here, window hole. So, had to do a whole bunch of different things for this window hole, and I've made a lot of good progress, but still much more to do. So first up, I had to remove the stones from the wall on the exterior part. I did have a little weird wooden window in there. That's because I locked myself out of the house one day. You can get the whole story in the video up here if you're interested. And I basically pulled some stones out of the wall and rebuilt this little window for security reasons. But that was only one small section of the part of the wall that I had to pull out. I had many more stones to remove, including some pretty large ones. I was up on a ladder, launching things around, pulling the small stones out, in there with a hammer and chisel and just chipping away at it. I had this crazy massive stone right in the middle though, and that needed the help of Sinead, so she came up and gave me a hand. And we pushed that out, and I basically just got everything out, forming mostly a square, and it was a success. The building did not fall down. So having removed those stones, I needed to carve some long granite stones. I got these amazing stones from a guy who has a wood yard sort of place not too far from here. They're used for holding up the wires that support grapes, and I love them. I think they're gonna be useful for a lot of things. I bought 10. I'm gonna buy the rest of them at some point. And I decided to use 4 stones to frame the window. I've never seen a window framed with the gray granite. The buildings are made with, I think, what's called pink granite. And oftentimes you'll just find people use a huge pink granite stone on the top, the sides, and build the window in that. So that seemed a little bit unruly. Those stones can be quite expensive. I didn't really know where to find them. And so when these gray granite stones came my way, I decided I'd find a way to use them. And in order to use them, I decided to groove out a little notch and cut them down to size. And yeah, it was a lot of carving, a lot of work with the angle grinder. It was kind of soul destroying for a little while. It's really dusty, it's dirty, and you're hunched over. It wasn't easy, but once I got all 4 stones done, I was very happy. And there were also some stones that were still in the wall that I didn't want to take out because I was afraid the stones above would fall down. This whole thing was a little sketchy, if I'm honest with you. So instead of pulling those stones out, I decided to use the plug and feathers tool and my giant mega drill to make holes, put in the plug and feathers, and try to break the stones off that way. And that was also a success. Nothing fell down. Everything stayed where it was supposed to stay. And it actually worked as planned. So that was another win. I didn't know how any of this stuff was going to turn out, and it actually all went better than I could have expected, which was totally by accident. So once the stones were out of the wall, once I had flattish sides, I had to put the gray granite stones that I made into position. I started with the sill. These things, they're pretty heavy. I can manhandle them around with just myself, but it's not ideal. So I got the sill on the little trolley, put that into place, put one side up with my friend Carrie when she was here, got the other side up on my own, and Sinead then helped me move the top piece into place last week, which was a little scary. I didn't know how it would all work. I wasn't entirely sure how secure the sides were because they're just mortared in there, but it went up, and I, again, was surprised how smoothly things have gone so far. I don't want to jinx it because I still have more to do, but so far so good with those things. I also had to rebuild the sill area where I took the stones out and also build up the walls on the side. These walls are about 1/2 meter thick, and the interior parts are generally made of crumbly stone and just clay and stuff with 2 faces of stones on either side. So when you start ripping stones out of the wall, you end up with a bunch of crumbly stuff. And so basically I had to just rebuild the sides with stones and lime mortar, and I got it done. I also did a bit of pointing, nothing major. I haven't had a full pointing session, which I'll probably do at some point soon, where I just try to get everything done at once. But I find that when you're doing this kind of heavy work, this grinder work, this dusty, crappy work, it's nice to switch and do something more enjoyable. And pointing is something where I can just switch off, zone out, relax, and enjoy the process. So I wanted to intermix pointing into this project as I'm going, just to kind of take a break from the other stuff. And I really think it makes the whole window hole look a lot better once it's pointed around. And so it's nice to do that pointing and then see everything kind of pop and look really good immediately. I also did some window research. So what I'm working on right now isn't a window, it's basically just a window hole. And I still have a lot of stuff to do to actually make it so the window will fit in. And I'm not making a window, I'm gonna hire a guy who lives nearby in a village who did my friend Carrie's windows in her place. And so basically I went over to Carrie's, looked at his work, and I also have been looking at windows all around town, paying close attention to how things attach, looking at all these weird things that no regular person would ever pay attention to, but I'm in there kind of looking at all the details. So that's been weirdly enjoyable. I do love a good window, and doing this has shown me that I'm mostly on track, and I feel like I'm doing things the right way, or right enough anyways. This month I also went to a local market. It's a 5-minute drive up the road, and it's more of a flea market slash food market, and it's just a nice gathering spot to catch up with lots of people I haven't seen in a while, and pick up some good food. I'm not really sure I need to hoard anything else. I've got so much crap, so I didn't really buy anything. I wasn't looking at the tables, just out of fear that I might buy some things because I don't have a lot of storage space. But I did enjoy the social aspect of it, and had a great pizza as well from the wood oven. Thanks, Jamie and Marley. Always really delicious pizza. And it was just an enjoyable day out, and I feel really lucky that that's quite close to me. And another fabulous event I went to was Shokalyosh, which is a 3-day festival celebrating sheep and the act of moving them from one grazing ground to another, which is called transhumance, which is a word I had never heard before, but it's a fabulous word, and I don't exactly know how to say it correctly, but that's what the festival is about. Sheep, sheep bells and the moving of them, and you can follow them over the mountain on the last day. You go on a big hike. I've never done that because I always enjoy the festivities too much. There's great music, lots of drums, lots of bagpipes, fiddles, all kinds of stuff, and it's just a really great festival where the locals open up these sort of basement things and they become bars for the weekend. So it's great. It's one of my favorite festivals, and I enjoyed that this year as well. I also made some pesto. I picked loads of basil. I love pesto. I love basil. And it's nice to switch focus from the heavy work with window hole stuff to things like making pesto, kitchen stuff. I also did some pickled jalapenos. I jar those up and I either sell them or trade them with people. And I got another 16 jars. I was expecting more, but I'm hoping for a third harvest of the peppers in a couple weeks, and then we'll see how many more I get. Sinead and I also attempted to save a sad tree. She brought an avocado tree home maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's just been neglected in its little pot in my front garden, and I've been watering it, but not really giving it the love and care that it deserves. So she and I put it into a larger pot, trimmed off some stuff, gave it some nice new soil, a little bed of straw on top to keep it cozy, and I've got it tucked in right beside the house so that the stones over the winter can radiate heat back onto the avocado tree. I could also move it to the polytunnel over winter. I'm gonna see how things go, but rest assured, this avocado tree, her name is Success. This avocado tree is going to get the best care available in the valley. I also made a fermented chili sauce, and I could have made a horrible, horrible mistake. I stuck quite a few ghost chilies in there, and I know that they're meant to be super brutal chilies, but I did actually taste one. I put it on my tongue and it didn't cause me to die. So I think that's sort of what I would have expected from these chilies, and that didn't happen. So maybe they're not as hot as ones other people are used to. I'm not exactly sure. I put some other chilies in this fermented sauce as well, which might tone everything down a bit. But the good thing is that even if I can't eat this chili sauce, I have some friends who can never get it hot enough, so hopefully they'll enjoy this. And down in the garden, which has been sorely neglected, actually not in the garden, beyond the garden, down to the compost area, I discovered a whole bunch of surprise volunteer butternut squash. So I sifted through the grass and I discovered 7 of those, and I traded one for some tomatoes so I can make some chutney, and I've got 6 squash plus a whole bunch more babies on the way. And I'm going to be rustling up a whole bunch of yummy things, including soup. And once I get the wood burner out, I've got a little oven on top of that. And yeah, cutting a squash in half and just sticking it in the oven with some butter and stuff in it is delicious. So who doesn't love butternut squash that just magically appears in your garden? I've never met that person, and I don't know if I want to. And then I also got a wonderful new tool from the folks at KebTech. I always rave on about their stuff. You can learn more in the video that I just put out rather than me gushing on about them, but it's a clipper thing. Electric pruners is what they're called, and this one is on a stick. So I used that amazing thing to get up high into the olive trees, and I completely annihilated the tree beside my house, but I have hope for him. I think he's gonna come good. And I did a couple more trees as well. So it was nice to get those dead branches out. I don't want to do any more pruning because it's not the season, but after olive picking in mid-November, I'll definitely have these things up there getting the high branches, and I'm gonna attempt to get the rest of the dead branches around my land before olive season starts, because when you've got the dead branches, they're quite stabby and you'll be up in the tree and they really do kind of try to poke your eyes out and scratch you to pieces. So I want to get rid of those if I can find the time. And I also closed the swimming pool, though it's actually still very hot. It's been cold in the evenings, and I guess I just got a little carried away, decided to clean the pool, drain it out, and close it up. But if we have another heat wave, it's very easy just to fill it back up again. It's all clean, ready to go. But I was happy to get rid of that gungy green water, drain it all out into the garden, and just have the pool covered and ready for next year. So it's been a pretty busy August. Oh, wait a minute, what month are we in? I think I said this was the August recap. It's September. So this is my September recap, and I'm going to talk about what I want to do in October. I just completely lost a month there, but I found it. So we're back on track. I don't know how that happened. I really did think I was going over the August recap, I swear. Anyway, that's my September recap. And my October goals are to finish the window, not just the window hole, which still needs a lot of work, but also to get the window in there. That's obviously dependent on whether the guy can do the work for me or not in a decent amount of time. So far I've ordered nothing, but I'm hoping to talk to him this week. So fingers crossed I can get the window in, but I'm definitely going to aim to get everything ready for that window. And then we have the winter garden, which isn't really my project. It's more Sinead's thing, but I imagine I'll help her out with that. I'm sure we'll work together on a few things. And so I put it on the list, and basically Sinead has done a permaculture design course, and she's inspired. She did it at Kila Yoga Farm. If you're looking for a good course, check them out. I'll put the link below. And she comes home every day with a new idea, wanting to do soap making, fermenting, grafting, propagating, all of the things. But one thing she definitely wants to do is a winter garden. I don't usually do it because I'm always so burnt out from the summer garden. But yeah, if she wants to have a go, she's more than welcome to do that. We're gonna do some of the beds that are in my garden just because they're sort of already ready, and I would just normally close it off for the winter and reopen it in the spring, so I might as well just keep some of those beds going. And I think she's got some lettuce. We're gonna try to get some coriander on the go, some broccoli, some beets, a bunch of winter things, cauliflower, onions, garlic in November I think she's gonna try. Brussels sprouts, I don't like to eat them, but I love how they look when they grow, so that'll be interesting. And it's just going to be fun to observe how she does with that, and fun to eat whatever stuff she grows as well. And then I also have a lot of land work to do. I've got loads of trimming. I've got bananas to repot. I've got chili plants to move to the polytunnel and trim down for winter. I've got the garden to close, the plants to pull out, the sunflowers to process. We're going to try to save the stalks and use them next year. Save all the seeds, do some seed saving for other things. So there's a lot of stuff to do on the land and in the garden, and that will be a focus for October. And then the tool shed foundation. It's looking like it's going to be a sunny few weeks coming up, so I'm going to try to get back into that once I finish up with the window stuff. So I've been talking about this foundation for a long time for the tool shed, but this time, hopefully, maybe, I'm serious. I do have a lot more stones now from the window work, all the stones I pulled out from the window hole. Many of them will be suitable for the foundation, so having more stones to choose from makes me feel a little bit more inspired to push on with this project. So that's it. That's my September recap and my October goals. And yeah, it's just been a really nice month. It's been super sunny. We had a little bit of rain, not enough, but yeah, hopefully more on the way. And hopefully it doesn't get too cold too fast because we don't have firewood yet. We're waiting on a guy, and I still have to prepare the spot for that as well. So that's another thing to add into the land work, collecting pine cones, needles, stacking firewood, and just preparing for winter. And when I do actually have my firewood prepared, I feel like an adult. I feel ready for anything, and I'm looking forward to having that feeling. Right now, it's just me wondering when this wood will be delivered and hoping it'll come in time. But I'm waffling on as usual. The sun is in my eyes. It's kind of distracting me. I definitely need to hide away from that. And I just want to say a big thanks again to everybody for watching my videos. I'm really enjoying this journey, and I feel like having this little jump up of video views lately and new subscribers with the window series has been very motivating, and so it's nice to see that you guys are enjoying that and really engaging as well. I've had lots of great tips as usual, loads of encouragement, and the comment section of my videos is just a really wonderful, positive place to hang out. I love reading them, and yeah, just a big thanks to everybody out there who watches my stuff and who enjoys it. But I'm waffling once again, so I'm just gonna cut it there. This has been my update for September. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video out this Friday.